I've been spending so much time on this question lately, and it is how to respect someone by listening to them, although you don't care maybe about the topic or the content they are sharing with you. And is it really inauthentic for you to stay in that conversation while not being authentic to yourself by not acknowledging to that person that you're maybe not interested in that, or is it just more, or is it, what do you think, is it more serving to both of you to just you to be there no matter what, no matter how you like it? And yeah, what do you think, how that affects your integrity in a way? And and essentially, yeah, and essentially, how do you, what would be your advice maybe how to handle that situation between you and that person while staying friend with them? I mean, because you're, imagine that person is super valuable, I mean super valuable, and you are super good friends, super valuable person, and in both ways, in both directions. Yeah. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever experienced something like that?
So, I mean, feeling a dissonance with someone and being confused how to go about it because you don't want to hurt them because they're valuable to you. At the same time, you don't want to do the disservice to yourself and compromise yourself. Is that the situation?
It's not much of a disservice if you are speaking about services, like doing a service or disservice. It's more about how to respect that person, even though you just deep down in your stomach you want them to shut down, to shut up, essentially. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I meant by dissonance because
yeah.
you value that person, they're doing something which you don't resonate with. And by just being there and allow, just letting that happen, you not feeling good enough in your own body, letting that thing go on is a disservice to myself, according to me. So it means I'm not honoring myself. When I'm feeling a contraction in my body at that point, and I'm feeling clearly seeing the signals that this conversation is not really healthy for me at this moment. So me not taking any action and normalizing that is, in a way, me compromising myself. And that I would associate with people pleasing in my case. That's what I used to do a lot. So now, how am I handling it? There's not really any strategy over there. It's just me developing love and acceptance for the other person, nourishing that acceptance for them. And by acceptance, it doesn't mean that, oh, they will be like this only, they will not change. Because with that love and acceptance, the combination of love and acceptance, there's no attempt to change the other person. So there, things unfold on their own. We naturally tend to, the boundaries set themselves automatically. Like as soon as we sense that signal of dissonance, that, oh, this is not something that's right, I generally just, if I know that person well enough, I reveal it in a way which is not blaming them. So owning my own experience, that, oh, I am responsible for what I'm experiencing in my body right now. It's not because of that person. I mean, although they could contribute it, it's not their fault. It's not the game of who is right and who's wrong.
Hmm. And what if,
Understanding that helps me reveal it, and therefore, we getting into a deeper level and bonding even further with that.
Hmm. Yeah. And what if it is a more like superficial level? For example, you are not liking some topic they shared, or they maybe be too long-winded with and spending so much talking without not giving you a chance maybe to talk back, to also to participate. And maybe there is something about the situation and the setting, or yeah, but more like you dislike something, some way of, for example, the topic I was mostly
Yeah.
considering how to be really good friend, but without being an asshole and neglect that person if you are really not interested in that topic, for example. Because I used to struggle with that with my ex-girlfriend, for example. I also noticed some topics, and maybe that was my emotional state at that moment. Maybe I wasn't capable of, maybe I was too tired or whatever. But I think I noticed for myself, you can share your own perspective as well more. But I think for myself is I notice that there might be some ego part that that judges the current situation, okay, me and that person, and that essentially makes a judgment on what should be discussed now and what shouldn't. I think that's what's happening inside of me most of the cases. Yeah, a selfish ego wants to only to have certain topics that I'm most interested in to discuss about. Yeah, yeah. Probably, I don't know if you can relate. I guess not,
I'm
but
wondering,
yeah,
don't we generally like to discuss the topics which come under the union? Like there are two circles. One is your interest, other is their interest. Whatever intersects, that's the one which you most likely talk with each other. And if it goes out of it, then so if someone is talking about something which I'm not interested in, I won't pretend that I'm interested in that. That's the first step I would do. Because otherwise, I mean, back in the days, I used to just smile and observe them as if I'm, you know, even though nothing is going in my head, I would just pretend like it is, just to validate them, reassure them, and therefore feel safe in our connection. But now I've realized that not pretending is how real safety comes in connection, when we can be real with each other and still hold space for each other with that difference, with that uniqueness again, honoring each other. So it becomes then less about what topic is it, and or which topics should we discuss and should not discuss in this conversation. Yeah, that could be then. That could be result. That strategy could be a result of this deeper bond, this
yeah,
sense of deep resonance with each other. For example, how we do it, right? Yeah. So far, I haven't felt. So if there is a topic which I don't resonate with it, most likely you know about it. We probably reveal it without even trying to reveal it in a way that doesn't hurt the other. It just naturally comes.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing what you shared. Yeah, and what came up for me is, yeah, how to. I mean, I think that's recognizing the moment when that appears. For example, I have one friend, which is probably, yeah, he's one of my best friends. not probably, he is, and we are super close. But he sometimes can get too long-winded, when he speaks about, and he, yeah, usually when he does that, he shares, for me at least, some irrelevant facts of the topic and doesn't proceed immediately on the main, on the main points, and just get back to the point, like, uh, don't get
I feel that.
super
Yeah.
unnecessarily long-winded, like, okay, make it a bit theatrical or amusing, but, or storytelling, okay, for sure. But yeah, and I noticed that battle in myself, how to stay true to myself and to express that and to communicate that without being abrupt and not caring, while at the same time not neglecting that person. So how to be true to myself and be great friend. And I think your answer is probably the right, I mean, the appropriate one, which is having that, firstly, trying to understand why you get upset if someone is sharing, not getting to the point. For example, my mother is also often does that as well. And also trying to accept that person and love them in order to much more easily accept, love them and be present with them. Yeah. But sometimes, I mean, yeah, because I imagine the situation. For example, you are in the dialogue, so two of us, we are speaking, and one person is fully listening, the other is speaking. But if this person is speaking much, much, much more, and is speaking already with 10 minutes without interruption from the other person, I think there is needs to be some threshold. There is needs to be something that, okay, you shouldn't, as you said, like, you shouldn't just smile and people please and, yeah, but deep down, you actually fucking don't care. I think what I tried with this friend, for example, I tried not to be abrupt, to not to be rude in a way, but I tried to convey with my body and with my expression that I don't I want to participate in this conversation in a way. I don't want to just, I want to listen, but after some point, like after 5 or 10 minutes without me interrupting you, I mean, like, it's also respecting the time of the other person. I think, seeing the whole conversation from their perspective. I mean, yeah, I think it's also. I think my friend, this friend is in this case probably sometimes unconsciously. He doesn't do it consciously for sure, but he loses probably he gets into that flow, which is probably amazing. And I don't know why I criticized that in the first place, but he probably loses his time, respect of the time of the other person as well, and um, respecting their presence. Like, okay, yes, I'm listening, but one who speaks, that's my perspective, that's my opinion. I think one who speaks should be also aware of the other person's time and presence and their energy, because if you are just, although I'm a bit guilty in this conversation, I think I've been talking much more than you. But if the one person is just pushing that energy, and because the listener is receiver, so he needs to have space to receive. But there is so much space to receive, so after some point, the receiver can become overwhelmed. So I think it's normal to just say, "Oh, please, like, I'm also someone here. Can I participate as well?" Yeah, one interesting
Yeah,
thing
that
that I
can be revealed,
noticed.
and it reminded me of something I've been playing around with recently, the non-violent communication. So that's basically, is it a modality? Okay, maybe modality of how we communicate with others in a non-violent way. So the core, according to me, of that is understanding the needs and feelings of others, as well as conveying our needs and feelings to them. So in this case, when we feel like, oh, this, I don't want this anymore, then we can reveal it in a non-violent way, without it being a kind of a trigger to them. We can just convey our needs and feelings. You know, oh, I need more space to respond as well. This is how I feel I don't, when whatever action you're observing the other person doing, speaking without giving me the space or whatever it is, and then requesting them to probably be mindful of others and allowing them to share as well. So it's sharing our needs, our feelings, and then requesting them how you want that need to be met. Because it can be confusing for the other person to know, okay, you shared your need, what do I do with it? How do I react? Please tell me how. If you tell how, then the other person can respond. Or again, they can do their own thing. Does that align with me or not? So that's how the back and forth happens, and we get to a place where both parties are happy, I guess.
Yeah, I usually do some subtle signs. I think my body just uh, it starts to vent a bit. I start venting myself a bit with like deep breaths. Like when someone it just overwhelms you immediately. You enter the room and it just boom immediately. This. You just try to escape that in a way, but to some point, yeah, that's great. Knowing how to control ego as well, to not let the ego on the way step on the way, and how to communicate that gently.
Because here we are not saying, oh, you shouldn't do this or don't do this. We're simply sharing our needs. So I need this. I have a need for, I feel this. Therefore, I need this. Can you please do this for me if it feels correct for you? So in that way, at least in most, at least we are doing our part of honoring them and not blaming on them. So, oh, they should not get hurt. That's not in our control, and that comes under people pleasing. Because our intention
Yeah,
is not that, and we are coming from that pure intention of sharing our needs and honoring ourselves first.
definitely. We are not responsible for other people's emotional regulation. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to be rude, for sure. We don't need
Yeah.
to be neglectful and incapable of understanding their needs as well. But yeah, we cannot control how it lands on them. That gentle warning or yeah message. Should we end this in some like outro? Should we make some outro way?
You can do that. Like I generally in my YouTube, I just end it as, yeah, thank you
You just
for,
vanish and
yeah, I just vanish. I just like it. Yeah, so basically the ending comes at some point, and then I'm like, yeah, see you the next one.
yeah, maybe should you do an outro? I think you're better in doing outros.
Mine is bye. Thank you for watching.
Immediately, that's like rabbit hole after rabbit hole. We got out of rabbit hole. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, my friend. It
Me too.
was really interesting. Yeah,
Yes. Looking forward to more of these.
sure. Sure. All right, everyone watching this. It was pleasure to have
Oh,
you
you're really
here.
doing it like that. Okay. Okay.
I just yeah, I missed some like small
Cool.
5 second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Subscribe for more.
You got your clip. You got your clip. I mean, I
Like,
wrote the
share,
outros of
subscribe.
my version.